I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Friday, December the 19th. The first news is no news from the Arkansas State Supreme Court, at least as we tape this segment, about the pending appeal of Judge Chris Piazza's ruling striking down the state's ban on same-sex marriage. The court is now officially in recess for the rest of the year. It can issue rulings while it's away from home. They can get the opinion out, but there's beginning to be some indication this case might hold over until next year. Not entirely sure why. There is word of a split on the court, perhaps on the opinion, perhaps on some personal level. If the case does hold over till next year, it means that Donald Corbin, who's retiring, won't participate. They'll have to reconference and have Robin Wynn sit in his place as a vote on the case. So there's that to watch. After further study, the first meeting yesterday of the commission that's going to recommend pay levels for state elected officers under the new constitutional amendment that was in Issue 3 approved by voters in November, I've done some studying on it, and it seems to me that there's a simple course for the group to follow. We're 48th in the country in median income. We ought to be 48th in pay of our legislators and other state officials. That seems only fair. This commission is also going to make recommendations on expenses. That should be easy too. We should say that legislators should only be reimbursed for expenses that are part of official business and are supported by documents. That's not the practice today, so I don't expect that particular recommendation to be followed. Other good news in Arkansas was the unemployment rate was announced today for November. It was 5.8%. That's down from 6.1%. That puts our unemployment rate at the national average for the first time in a long time. So we're moving in the right direction economically. Elsewhere, State Senator David Sanders had some news today that I found interesting. He put together the numbers on the November parole board releases and found that of 827 people paroled from prison in Arkansas in that month, almost 600 were judged to be high-risk offenders. That is, people who might commit a crime again. This is a subject of great concern to the legislature. They think maybe we're paroling too many people too soon. There is, of course, a cost to keep people in prison longer, and that's one of the things the legislature is going to have to tussle with when they meet in January. Other news today in the money world, easy come, easy go, you might say. John Rogers, a North Little Rock collector of photographs and sports memorabilia, lost a $14.5 million default judgment today in circuit court to First Arkansas Bank and Trust of Jacksonville. He defaulted on a number of loans he'd made to them. His business is in great disarray. Money news is a little bit different for Alice Walton. She has plenty of it. And she's reportedly the buyer of a $4.5 million table made by Osamu Noguchi in 1939. It's perhaps bound for her Crystal Bridges Museum, where she already has some Noguchi work. We don't yet know that. She can afford the bill, however. Finally, some particularly interesting news from the White House today, I think. President Obama at his afternoon news conference said he believes Sony had made a mistake in pulling from release The Interview, the movie that makes a joke about an assassination of the North Korean leader. The FBI has confirmed North Korea is behind the cyber attack on Sony that led Sony to decide to pull the movie. Obama said that's just not the way America works. It's a bad precedent to cave into a dictator somewhere on a threat like this. I think he's right. President Obama also used his year-end news conference to talk about some good news of his administration. Job creation numbers are huge. The deficit has been dramatically reduced under his tenure, and 10 million people now have insurance that didn't have it before Obamacare. These are pretty good things. Of course, Arkansas voters, you know, in November repudiated everything Obama's done, said we really need a change. Those figures don't seem to impress Arkansas voters very much. I'm Max Brantley. I'll probably not be here next week because I'm going to visit my kids in New York for Christmas. Y'all will just have to make do with somebody else. I wish you Merry Christmas. See you later.